Let's start the third chapter, The Little Girl by Katherine Mansfield. We have a question here. Do you feel you know your parents better now than when you were much younger? Perhaps you now understand the reasons for some of their actions that used to upset you earlier. Don't do this, don't do that. Hey, you, do not touch my Elmira. Do not walk barefoot. Or were you locked in the bathroom as well? And once you got corporal punishment too? But as we grow up, we do understand the reasons behind their such actions. This story about a little girl whose feelings for her father change from fear to understanding will probably find an echo in every home, and this is the theme of the chapter by Katherine Mansfield, a short story by Katherine Mansfield, parent-child relationship. Let's begin with the first paragraph. To the little girl, he was a figure to be feared and avoided. Of course, the word he refers to father. And girl, his daughter, to be feared and avoided. That means the girl was afraid of her father. Every morning before going to work, he came into her room. So father would meet his daughter and gave her a casual kiss, a goodbye kiss, to which she responded with goodbye father, and she would just say goodbye. Responded means she would answer. And oh, there was a glad sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage growing fainter and fainter down the long road. And what would make her happy? That her father had gone to his office and his vehicle, his carriage, his car, his coach was going far and far, and now nobody would be there at home to trouble her or to scare her. In the evening, what do you mean by fainter? It was growing dull, and dull means it was no longer audible to her. In the evening, when he came home, she stood near the staircase and heard his loud voice in the hall. That means she would not come, she would not greet her father, rather she would just stand near the staircase and would look at him. Bring my tea into the drawing room. Hasn't the paper come yet? Mother, go and see if my paper's out there, and bring me my slippers. So who would be saying all these things? Who would be instructing? Father would be instructing in an authoritative manner. Authoritative manner, having authority, having command, having power. And here we need to take care of one point. When he says mother, go and see if my paper's out there. So he is calling his mother and not the girl's mother. Of course, he would not call his wife mother. Kezia, mother would call to her, if you are a good girl, you can come down and take off father's boots. So mother would call to her. Slowly the girl would slip down the stairs, more slowly still across the hall. That means she would try to maximize the time that she could to meet her father and push open the drawing room door. And see here, she was called. She did not come herself. Generally what happens when father comes back from office, children or child goes running to his father. He gets happy that his father is back. By that time he had his spectacles on. He would wear his spectacles and looked at her. Looked at her. Here the word her is used for Kezia. So we are introduced to the girl's name as well. And here we can see the meaning of the word slip down. Come down quietly and unwillingly, because she was scared of her father. Reason we would get to know. It will get unfolded once we read it further. And looked at her over them. That means he would look at his daughter over the spectacles, and that is quite scary. That was, in a way, that was terrifying, scary to the little girl. Well, Kezia, hurry up and pull off these boots. Pull off, take off, and take them outside. The word them is used for shoes. Have you been a good girl today? What do you mean by to be a good girl? Means she did not trouble anyone and obeyed her mother and the other family members. I don't know, father. You can see the way she is speaking. She is stammering here, and that is not any speech error. Rather, that is because of fear. You don't know? So her father imitated her. If you stutter, if you stammer like that, mother will have to take you to the doctor. That means, in place of saying that the girl should speak properly, her father said that she would be taken to a doctor. So we can notice the manner in which father spoke to his daughter. She never stuttered with other people, had quite given it up, but only with father. Because then she was trying so hard to say the words properly. The words didn't come to her naturally when she had to speak to her father out of fear. She was petrified, she was terrified to the core before her father, and she never stuttered, she never stammered before other people while talking to them. She had completely given it up, had stopped doing so. What's the matter? What are you looking so wretched about, unhappy about? Mother, I wish you taught this child not to appear on the brink of suicide, about to commit suicide. That means she looked so terrified. She appeared so terrified to her father that her father said that as if the girl was going to commit suicide. So we can see the manner in which father talked to his daughter. Here, Kezia, carry my teacup back to the table carefully. Father had taken his tea and asked his daughter to keep the cup back onto the table. He was so big, his hands and his neck, especially his mouth when he yawned. He was so big. So Katherine Mansfield is telling this from a child's perspective, especially that child who is scared of her father, and especially his mouth when he yawned. Thinking about him alone was like thinking about a giant. So her father appeared as mountainous, as gigantic to her, as if he was a giant and not a normal human being. Thank you, and let's meet in the next module for further explanation.